Hey guys, today I'm going to be going over which PlayStation Vita games no longer have an active online community. Now, most of these games have either had their servers shut down or simply just don't have enough people signing in to play. Either way, if you find yourself able to find a match, then consider yourself lucky. But for the majority of the time, under normal circumstances, these games are pretty much a ghost town regarding online play. So without further ado, let's get into this. Number 1. Mortal Kombat. Well, I guess I shouldn't be surprised. With the recent release of MK11, anyone who's remotely interested in Mortal Kombat has moved on to the next newest iteration of the franchise. It's kinda sad though, cause in all honesty, I actually prefer the more straightforward approach of MK9. As the franchise went on, I felt like they added way too much to the fighting mechanics. Personally, I wasn't a big fan of the 3 different variations in MKX, and I'm still on the fence about MK11 having 2 separate meters for offense and defensive attacks. Also, don't even get me started on the microtransactions. But hey, that's just my opinion. Now, I get a lot of debate on the quality of the downgraded graphics, so if you want to know the truth, then yes, you will notice a difference from the console version. But the trade-off was worth it, cause I'll take 60 frames per second over slightly downgraded graphics any day of the week. There might be newer, more relevant MK games available, but if you somehow missed the boat on MK9, the Vita port can't be beat. Just don't expect to play against anyone else online, that is. Number 2. Wipeout 2048. Oh my goodness, I forgot how beautiful this game is. Like, why can't more PlayStation Vita games look like this? You know what, I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, but there are some really cool looking lens flare going on here. Every time I go back to this game, it feels like the first time I'm playing it. I just keep forgetting how awesome it is. So awesome in fact that I don't even care if the servers are offline. Granted, it would be nice if you could still play this online with other people. What I really don't understand is if Sony shut the servers down, then why are they still offering the online pass? I mean, take that damn thing off. Like, what are they trying to do? Trick people into buying it only to realize the servers are offline? Other than that, Wipeout 2048 is an awesome game, even without the online component. I mean, look at it this way. You can still have a good time just playing the single player campaign, which, as you can see, will keep you busy for quite a while. And if you're feeling really adventurous, there's always photo mode for you to sink your teeth into. I'm gonna get a lot of arguments on this one, but I think this is one of the few Vita games that can stand toe-to-toe with what's offered on Nintendo Switch. Number 3. Soul Sacrifice. You know, I really wish I'd known beforehand there was an expansion to this game, cause if I did, I would have gotten Soul Sacrifice Delta instead. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this version in particular, the gameplay is fun, and the graphics are still amazing. If you're new to the franchise, there's very little to distinguish this from the Delta version. Of course, if you've been playing for a while, you'll realize the expansion has so much more to offer. More enemies, more arenas, more sigils, more offerings, the ability to import your data from previous games, as well as a whole host of other gameplay tweaks. Basically, it's the definitive version of what you're playing now. Plus, I'm also told the online community is more active, which I'm going to have to agree with, because I couldn't find a single soul in this version. See what I did there? Soul? Because the game's called Soul Sacrifice? Never mind. Whether you're doing a quick search or creating a room, there's not a single soul to be found. Alright, I'll stop. I'm assuming everyone's moved on to the newest expansion. Hey, does anyone know if I can just upgrade to the Delta version with a patch, or would I have to buy the entire game again? Let me know in the comments below. Number 4. PlayStation AllStars Battle Royale. You know, I am actually surprised Sony decided to shut the servers down for this game. I mean, there were still plenty of people playing the last time I was on. It's a shame because this game ran really well online. Also, because it was cross-play, you got the PlayStation 3 crowd joining in as well. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of this game, but I did have fun when I was playing it. And yes, I'll admit, I did get my ass handed to me quite a few times, but that only made me want to get better at the game. And it did. Granted, I'm not the best, but it gave me a reason to at least figure out how the mechanics work. Now the servers are down and we're left with a less than stellar story mode. What a waste. Well, at least there's ad hoc, so it's not a complete loss. I just wish this game had a better single player experience, because without the online component, there's very little else you can do in it. Number 5. Ridge Racer. You know, as I'm going back and trying out some of these games again, I'm starting to realize that they're not as bad as some people make them out to be. Like, I know this game got a bad rep for having like only 3 tracks and 5 cars at the time of its launch, but if you stand back and just take it as a whole, this game is pretty good. Of course, I have purchased the DLC, so maybe that has something to do with it. But aside from that, I mean, the game looks great. It runs great, and it plays like you'd expect from any Ridge Racer title. If you decided to pass on this iteration of Ridge Racer because of the DLC, just know that they're offering a whole bunch of free stuff on the PSN store. I mean, it's mostly just music tracks, but hey, at least it's free. Give it a shot, and while you're at it, join an online match, because the rooms are very lonely. You know what, on second thought, just get Ridge Racer on the PSP. Number 6. Resistance Burning Skies. Oh, how I wish I had played this game sooner when the online community was still active. I would have loved to see what the multiplayer was like. I reviewed this game a while back, and during that time I do recall finding another person online, but as soon as we met, the room got disconnected. Oh well, I guess I just wasn't meant to experience the online multiplayer for Burning Skies. I hate the fact that you have to pay for an online pass since the community is pretty much dead, but I do appreciate how the servers are still up. If anybody with an online pass wants to get together and start up a game, then let me know in the comments below. Just leave your PSN ID followed by Burning Skies. You know what? That would be an interesting video to make. Number 7. Injustice Gods Among Us Ultimate Edition. The online might be dead, but at least there's ad hoc, so you can still play with a friend if you like. Thank goodness for ad hoc. What would we do without you? Looking at this game gives me hope that had the Vita survived a little longer, we could have gotten a port of MK11 as well. I mean, of course there would be major cuts to the visuals, but gameplay-wise, I think it would have been possible. Because when you look at it, this isn't that far off from what we're seeing in MK11. Can you guys imagine the newest Mortal Kombat running on the Vita? Man, if only. Although the games I just mentioned no longer have an active online community, don't let it discourage you from picking up a Vita. Just know if you're picking up one of these games that there is a good chance you won't be able to find anyone else online to play with. But if you're not into the whole online multiplayer scene, then these games are perfectly fine played on their own. So what are you waiting for? Go pick them up. And if you want to know what games do have an active online community, then click on this video right here. Also, if you enjoy this content, then consider subscribing. Do that and you'll help me buy more games to talk about. Later.